Okay, testing the audio, making sure everything is piping through. Give me a quick second, and it should show up, hopefully. And it appears to be working now, so I'm going to go ahead and remute that. Mic on. Okay, I'm going to take this off. Alrighty, welcome back. It's been a week, and actually, I should I should be doing 2 weeks, and then but next week my dad has 3 appointments, so I might be gone for those 3 days, and then again I might be able to squeeze in a couple during those 3 days. So we'll go like normal and do like I normally do. So if I can't do it that day, I won't do it that day. That's all, and it'll be a short 2 week stretch. Anyways, welcome back to the stream. Back to the. I always want to say welcome back to the channel. I guess I don't know. Is it technically a channel? My YouTube page, it's my YouTube channel, right? You have good YouTube channel. Anyways, um, so yeah, basically over the weekend, if you don't know, which you probably do, especially if you've been in IRC and been watching slash listening. Um, Actually, I need to go ahead and paste that in here. So let's see something here. Let's put this. Oh, that's not. Oh, darn it. Just delete everything. Right. Okay. Let me pull up the see something here. Just a second. Part one. Just going to catch up. Like I said, I put in my description. Copy, copy. I only have four IRC channels that I actually post in the actually post my streams in, and Liberia.chat and Afternet, and game designers and game dev in Liberia.chat, and then DOS or not DOS Game Club, game dev and Litum Dare in um Afternet, or on Afternet, however you want to say it. Um, okay, so yeah, so I went through this big rigmarole. So basically, I don't know if I should go through the same story again because there's only what three viewers on here right this second, and I'll get started in just a second. But basically, I was on Linux Mint Debian Edition, or LMDE 6, and I upgraded to 7, and then it kept kicking me to terminal, and then I would eventually I found a way of you type in start X and it will start whatever your desktop environment is, and that was working for a while, and I was trying to get Grok to help me to fix this problem kicking out the terminal. Couldn't figure it out. And one of the suggestions it made was to install GDM3, which is a desktop manager. I think it's called Desktop Manager. Anyways, whereas the normal standard one's LightDM. And so I did that. There was an error in it. When it came back, I got this white screen that said something went wrong. I couldn't do anything. Eventually, I found a way of going through to another terminal, which you can do with Control Alt F2 through F5, and it will put you on a terminal up to 5 different ones. And then I was able to uninstall GDM3, but ever since then I could not get the desktop to start properly with StartX. So I did what I was going to do before, which is wipe the drive after I copied my home folder, my home directory, and then I installed Linux Mint 22.0 clean. I couldn't get into the 22.2 ISO. For some reason, it kept hanging, so I went into the 22.0, installed that, then I upgraded to 22.2. So now I'm on Linux Mint regular Ubuntu, based version 22.2, which is like Zara. Did I get that right? Did I remember that right? Anyways, so now I am essentially on a new system, and the reason that this is sparse, whereas normally you'd see a lot more stuff in here, is because I had it set up to where it would permanently mount some of these other folders and drives, like dev stuff and all that. And also had more out here, right? So I'd just have the main ones right here. Although Thunderbird. Oh yeah, I have to. Okay, if I want to start my email, I have to actually go to terminal because um, the version with so the version with that came with Linux Mint, that's a system package or whatever of Thunderbird, um, is an older version than I got, and so I couldn't access my profile. So I had to download the newest version, which is off their website, and installed it, and I was able to then access my old profile. And so I removed the other Thunderbird. Let's see something here. Is Thunderbird even in here? No, it's not in here. That's because I'm working off a disk. Anyways, I downloaded it. I was able to access it there. I moved it. I moved it to to the opt folder, which I guess you do sometimes if you're putting in programs yourself. I don't know. I don't know why all the different directories are there and what they do and stuff, but oh, I guess I'm not really showing you, am I? Here, there's my desktop. Anyways, yeah, so it's kind of sparse here, sparse down here. Thunderbird is installed, but I had to, like I said, I had to do it externally to get the latest version so that I could actually use the profile, which is on the newer version, which I was using in LMDE, and So yeah, it's a little bit different here. I copied my home over. That means I still have access to my hex chat settings, and then my Brave browser settings, of course, and all my bookmarks and all that stuff. The only thing that didn't work, Discord works too. The only thing that did not work, oh yeah, even OBS worked, believe it or not, and that was on LMDE. It was version 29. Here on Mint proper, it was 30, and so actually using OBS 30. I've downloaded the flat pack of 32 OBS 32, but I'll have to copy the settings over so I have the same settings and scenes and stuff. I'll do that later. And yeah, so I'm essentially on a new system, you might say, and I got the full access to the hard drive now. I don't have Windows on anymore. I was dual booting Windows, but I haven't used it in months, so I just wiped that. Um, I still have a chunk, about half of my big hard drive here. Let's see if we can pull that up. See data stack and data store here. Data store is actually NTFS formatted, and it had all my Windows, basically my development stuff. In fact, I can actually just go ahead and let's see, mount it. Okay, so this is actually NTFS drive here, and so I even have, let's see, these are like different drives over the years. Old eFlash developed projects, old eDrive, Dropbox, LG root. Oh, that's some LG stuff. Archive zipper install. I mean, I have a bunch of old crap basically. And see, I even got like this is the Flash Player 17 debug. So this won't work on here. I mean, unless I could get it to work with Wine or whatever. I do have Wine installed, but I have never used Wine, so I don't know if I'll ever get around to it. But I just did that so that I might be able to access some of my old Windows games later. Um, yeah, these are all PDFs I've downloaded over the years. Anyways, it's just a bunch of old crap that I had on my other um, on my Windows computer. These are actually just Blender stuff here. Those these shared. What's in here? So I don't guess there's a lot of FreeMeter is a program. It's an executable. So a lot of these like programs I have to actually go through and like delete stuff that's like Windows specific, just because obviously this Atari. Oh, these are my Atari ROMs here. I probably have them somewhere else, but these are Atari 2600 ROMs there, and these were just a couple of games. Okay, this is Shadow. Oh, this is Shadows of the Empire. I actually have Shadows of the Empire on. It's interesting. I can delete that though. I actually have it on CD. Actually, it was a bot program. It's a program that I own, Shadows of the Empire. Obviously, I can't really play it on anything. I don't know if I could play it in here in Linux. Maybe I could with Wine. Maybe I think GOG was, oh, forget about it. I can just keep on going on and on. I'm sorry about that, but there's not many games in here. Anyways, this is just my, oh yeah, USB drive contents. I got backups of USB drive contents everywhere. Anyways, I have to go through and move all this to my Linux stuff. This is, of course, is the Linux drive here. Time shift. I had a time shift. I can probably delete that because that was of my old system. This is my home directory here, which I can eventually remove as well. Okay, so let's not worry about that. Let's instead let's. What am I doing? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try to. Okay. So let's see about starting. Actually, I go favorites. So all my home directory is the way it was, including dev stuff. Only dev stuff's not down in here. It's not on the desktop like you normally have. But I can very easily do this. I gotta see about downloading GitHub Desktop too. But, okay, everything is good. Alright, so let's go to the 2D workspace and notice everything is gone because of why. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I have no clue why. Reload save scene. That is so weird. So it's all gone now? Didn't change anything, so I don't know what the deal is. Is strange. What if I run it? Do I get to see everything? No, it's... Why is it breaking? That is so weird. I even ran this thing yesterday. In fact, I ran it in the little streaming deal, I think, that I did yesterday. So now what's the deal? What's going on now? Here, let's reload that. Seriously, what's the deal? Am I still streaming? Apparently I'm still streaming. That's good. So yeah. So what, why does it not work at all? What's different here? I didn't change anything. Oh, strange. I didn't delete or anything. It just moved it, and then I even used this. So what's the deal? Drag start position. Unexpected literal and class body. Well, how come it worked before and it doesn't work now? I don't get what that... I mean, I guess that's what the... What's the deal here? Okay, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna say colon vector 2 equals 0. That'll be okay. Oh, this. Okay. Let's reload save scene. Let's see if that was just a problem. Output. Error. Let's go in here. Okay. So there must have been... Okay, so that was just a little script problem. In fact, that wasn't even this problem. This colon equals thing wasn't a problem either, I don't think. I think it was just that I had like a 1 up there because, oh yeah. Okay. It's because I ran my game and it wasn't in focus, and so when it hit the button 1, which is the first choice, it must have put it in there, and so that's why it asked me to save when I left, and then okay, there's nothing really wrong here. It was just a thing that happened. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're going back. We're going back. Zanzibar does some more shows. Okay, let's open that one up. Max attempted to show his Corvus managed to steal from Max without his notice. I don't know what because I know I didn't really get anything done there exactly. I was gonna change how it did it, right? Okay, let me check my notes then. Let's go ahead and go to Office. Let's go to Office Writer, and want to add it to the panel. And then we'll take Office Writer. Okay. No. No, I don't want to know anything. I want to open. Open. Oh, recent's there though. Nice. Of course, all the settings are there, right? Okay, this was the thing about how to get in between story beats. This is also part of gameplay. Wait a second here. What's going on? What's going on here? I'm gonna have to go back to the, I guess it's ChatGPT conversation to see where I was because I didn't put anything in my notes, which I should have done. That's all right. Oh, and so this is the copy of the summary of the for my next conversation, I think. Uh, okay, so this is what I was supposed to put in a new conversation. I don't know if I ever got to that new conversation, but okay. I'm also okay. So people going in and out, I guess. One person going in and out. That's cool. Whatever. Okay, so as far as I know, we're still live. Everything is working still. Alrighty, so let's go to ChatGPT. Oh, I'll do a survey when I'm not on. Okay, so this is going to be kind of like normal day today. I will end at 1 o'clock my time, which is, was it 6 o'clock UK time? And you can extrapolate from there. And then I'll take an hour break, and then I'll return 1 hour later, which is 2 o'clock my time, and that's UK time is 7 o'clock in the evening. Okay, so cursor and drag, box setup, drag functionality, game summary update. All right. Right, the two beats slightly since there's not much to do on the part where he does the show and steals from Max. I could have him do that. Find out as part of the first beat, and the second beat is his response. I track him down, confront him. Probably makes more sense, and was probably also what I was thinking when I wrote them. Totally tracks, and honestly, it sounds like exactly what past you meant, but left future you to decode like a ransom note. I don't get the stupid personality thing with the chat GPT. It is goofy to me, you know? Huh? Totally goofy. Totally goofy. Anywho, alrighty. Structurally, that's a sweet spot. Beat one, the setup and discovery. Zanzibar does his flashy show. Corvus swipes Max's purse, and Max realizes it before the scene ends. Beat two, the reaction and resolution. Max hunts him down and confronts him, leading to their uneasy business partnership. Okay. Alright, so that is the first thing I need to do. I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to stop streaming dev here. I'm not going to stop doing dev, and I still want to show everything that I do, but to tell you the truth, this has got to be the most boringest stuff here. And I don't have any visuals yet, so I mean, I should look to start, I guess, start making visuals even before I have to do them. But I'm still just thinking about it because I suck at drawing on the tablet. I suck at drawing in general now. I used to be okay, but now it's been ages. Now my hand gets all shaky, and when I try to do the dang tablet, I can't draw a straight line to save my life, and so I'll have to learn how to draw. I suppose I could start recording drawing practice, and then eventually after a while, I could compile it into either a time lapse or just a general, like, here's my progress. You know, I practiced drawing on my tablet for, you know, 2 months, 3 months. Here's the progress I made so far or something. That might would even bring people into watching, which is kind of interesting. I still don't know how to properly do a devlog though, because I see these other guys do it, and I guess it's because they have a more structured approach to making their game, right? All I'm doing is I'm going, okay, I got to add these story beats in, and that's it. In other words, I don't have a plan. I do have a plan. I do have, I got the phase set up. But as far as what I'm doing next to next, I don't have. It's not a strict structure, but at the same time, I definitely know what I'm doing. It's just it's the same thing day in and day out, right? So basically, I've got what's left of these cards, these pages, and um, I can't tell you when I'm going to be done, right? Because there's ones took a couple of weeks just to get the one story beat, and that's just one of them. A few of them can go faster than that. This could go faster. I don't expect it to go faster, any faster than at least one a day, and I don't even expect it to do one a day. I expect this to take a couple more weeks, or another week, or several more days, or whatever. So, if I don't know, if I could say, well, what did I accomplish here? What did I accomplish here? Maybe if I set it up and shows you how much, maybe if I made it like a progress thing or whatever. Um, Anyways, it's like, okay, so you're like working on something and you don't know if it's going to be interesting or not to put on video. You know, I record something, then I do some, let's say I do some code, I work some more. I know the next few steps I want to work on. I know I'm working on the drag box now. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't have an estimation, really. Not a real clear estimation. It's not like there's just a structured thing where I could just go, okay, I expect this to happen and this to happen, and at this time and this thing. It just develops as I go. So I can't really build up moments. I can only do like after I complete something, doing like I'm doing, I can record a little bit of the progress that I made already. I don't have the thing where I can go, oh, this would be interesting for my devlog. Let me record it. I don't have the thing to do that. You know, I can record the whole thing, and then I have to go through hours and hours of footage, especially if I decided not to stream and I'm just accumulating. I'm just recording straight out footage of me developing. Right? I have to comb through all that footage to be able to pick out moments that will be interesting enough to put on a devlog. So it's like I don't really even know how some of these other guys do it, and especially with their games are they may be amateur, but they're actually pretty good, pretty almost a quality. Put a lot of work in it and stuff, and so they make these. Um, I know half of them what they do is when they record, they do voiceovers afterwards. So a lot of the devlogs you see, especially the good ones, will say, "Well, here, at first I did this, and I did this," and then they show you some B footage of them actually doing it. And so, but I can't wrap my head around like, okay, so at what point do I record? What do I record? Do I record a lot of it? Do I record a little of it? You see my process. You see how I work with the story beats. How I ask uh, the the AI, to give me some information, some ideas. Then I go in. I kind of think of some ideas. I was like, okay, what do I do here? I have to think of this. What do I think of this? And I can't zoom in on a certain point of going, this is pretty interesting. Like, um, you know what I mean? I mean, at least with the if you're like playing a game, if you're one of those gaming live streamers, they have a things that they can do. There's little things that they can do uh, to get them at the spur of the moment. You can have the thing where, and OBS I think has a deal where it pre-records. It records like I don't know, 30 seconds or a few minutes or whatever. It always constantly records. It overwrites itself, and that way you can go back to the last, say, 30 seconds of your stream. So if you're doing like if you're doing some sort of rocket jump thing, some sort of trick or some sort of kill or whatever, and you just did a like a perfect headshot, and then what do? You hit a key, and the key um, triggers the thing to save out the last 30 seconds where you did the kill, right? So you can do that very fast. So you have a key set up. It's like a hotkey set up, and then you just do it, and you're able to capture certain moments that are like really cool moments. With developing, especially one project, and I'm not talking about multiple projects or the short, I did Flappy Bird, but it's first person perspective or something dumb like that. I did Subway Surfers in 3D in 2D, or I don't know, Subway Surfers is 3D already, but you know what I mean, basically. Where you have like one project per video where you're gonna go, I did this and I remade, it's like those visual effects things. I remade Jurassic Park in, you know, on $1 versus whatever, and so then they work on stuff, and it's just for that. It's just a thing for that. So you can get a lot of footage, and even though you can do the thing of where you are doing the quick thing or whatever, you have an outline set of steps. So if I'm recreating a movie scene in, say, Blender, I know I can divide up the scene into various images like a storyboard. So I can reverse storyboard a scene, like take an existing scene and put it into storyboard form. Um, and then I can do the thing about getting the models, like, even if it's just getting them off of a free website, and then putting them in, and then render them out, and then compositing, and then tweaking thing, and then going into DaVinci Resolve or whatever, and then editing it and stuff. So you have clear defined goals, clear defined things that you have to hit. And so that would make something like that easier. If I was making a single game in a day or a week or whatever, and it was just an action game, it wasn't a story-based game and stuff, I could pretty much create a essentially design document, and then I could go back that design document and develop my video around it, saying this milestone, this milestone, this milestone. If I recorded all of it, then I could literally pick out the parts where I did it. And it might involve a little more upfront work. In other words, being able to time, having timestamps for when you started working on a feature and then when you ended it. So that way, when you're looking for a specific like milestone, and say, well, I implemented swarm behavior or something, right? And so you have a timestamp when you started it, you have a timestamp when you stopped it, and on the recording, and then you pull up that on the recording, and then you essentially pick out some of the best moments that you think are the best. And even that's a lot of work, but that's not even as much work as like going on just a long project. Now, if I was making a single video for this whole game that took me a couple years to make, even that would not be that hard, even if I had, hundreds and hundreds of hours of footage. Why? Because I have specific things that I need to do, right, to get it done. I don't know. So yeah, I don't really know how to work this right to where it's interesting, and I pick out the right moments, and I figure out where I can put a time lapse in, or versus where I can just like cut to what it looks like, or where I can just like sneak in some images because I don't actually have video or whatever. You know, I don't know how to do that. I know that people that do that. I just don't know how to do it, right? So that's the one thing that I gotta figure out though. See, so um, um, so that's kind of why I'm still doing the streaming here, right? Still doing the streaming here because I'm not really sure if I can figure out how to do a devlog properly that will be interesting enough. You know, I can record a bunch of footage of me working on my game. Um, someone in IRC was telling me that um, I probably waste a lot of time streaming, right? The streaming part isn't that much time. Your setup time is a lot of time, right? And then the streaming is just the streaming. But the thing that is probably delaying me the most is talking, right? If you're on a stream and there's nothing talking, then you'd be disinterested. Um, if you're watching it, if you're actually watching it, you get disinterested pretty quickly. In fact, I've done that before. I watched somebody stream their game development, and while it's interesting that they what they're doing sometimes, if they don't talk or say anything or whatever, they spend more time on the game, which is what you should do anyways. I'm not like I'm not I'm not like dissing that or whatever, not poo pooing it, whatever. I don't know what word I'm trying to look at. I'm not talking bad about that. That's fine. In fact, that's what you should do, right? You should be working on your game. So streaming is a secondary thought. But if you're going to stream for people, it's got to be interesting enough to stream for people, right? So you should be at least a little bit engaging, and that's where your slowdown comes. Your slowdown comes is when you talk. Now I don't have that many people in here. Right now I have 4, and it keeps on fluctuating between 4 and 3 viewers. Um, so um, um, it doesn't matter that much that I don't have, my talking and stuff. But so like when you're streaming, right? You gotta keep them interested, and so you keep talking, right? But then it takes time away. Especially for me, I get distracted really easily, and you could tell when I go down rabbit holes and off on tangents and whatever. And um, I'm just like I'm not doing my work, just like I'm not doing it right now. It's okay because today is a catch up day. So catch up day today. If you don't want to watch, that's okay. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to watch either. I don't think. But okay. So I'm kind of going. I'm not getting any viewers here, and I don't really exactly know why. I mean, other than it's kind of crappy, other than it's kind of slow, other than maybe you don't like my voice and I talk too much, maybe because you come in here and then you see me not doing anything on my game and then you leave. There's a billion reasons why I don't have many viewers or subscribers. You know, and I have to figure that out if I want to continue doing YouTube. If I don't want to continue doing YouTube, then I don't. Then I can stop, I guess. But so yeah, I'm trying to figure this thing out. I'm kind of going. Maybe I shouldn't be streaming. Maybe I should just dev my game, and I should record it. But then again, when I do devlogs, I need a process that allows me to capture important parts or points or interesting points that I can put it in my devlog, right? So maybe it's that I need to outline more steps, right? I've got my phase 1, which is just working on this text version, and I do have certain steps in the future that I know that I have to do, right? So I have to finish this. I have to finish story beats. Then I have to, let's see. Um, what do I have to do next? What do I do after that? I film the story beats. Okay. At the very least, I have to do a narrative pass, which means I have to go through everything and make it sound like you're reading a book. Several paragraphs and stuff. That's going to take a while. The good part is that I'll have everything as far as the events happen. So once the events are there, it's like a skeleton. I can go ahead and add the narrative in there, and it shouldn't be. It might not even take as long as just getting to this point. It does. So, um, anyways, what was I saying? Well, anyways, I don't know how effective the streaming is when I can't get anybody to come in here and watch it in the first place. And I guess just spinning my wheels or whatever. And I'm not making as fast progress as I would have normally otherwise if I wasn't talking. I could stream and not talk at all, but people like the rookie or Rook, um, he tends to put me on the background because I'm talking, right? And there's only a few. I only have a few viewers, so the talking's probably a good thing as far as keeping people engaged. But I can't get anybody in here in the first place. So if I can't get anybody in there in the first place, then they're not going to watch later, right? I had a bunch of people in here, and then I started doing something, and they all like left or they had stopped coming because it was getting boring or whatever. I'd at least have an idea, right? Because I'd see a mass of people leaving. I could ask some of them. I could say, why are people leaving? Why did you leave? If you came back, and I'd be able to get kind of a good idea, be able to gauge it. That's if I had a bunch of people watching. I don't have anybody watching, hardly. Either the algorithm's not promoting me, which I don't know why it would, but that's part of it. Um, Part of it's just not being that interesting. So you look a couple times and then you leave. In fact, there's probably a lot of people that do that. Right, come in here and go, "Ooh, somebody's making a game." Then like, "Oh, he's not doing anything. He's just talking to the AI." Or or whatever. Or he's just putting in some text, and that's not very exciting, right? And honestly, it's not very exciting. So I don't know. It's like, should I continue doing the streaming? Should I do the streaming and just not talk during it? Just stream like I'm doing a live recording, and just stream while I'm deving and not say anything. And then that way later on I can go back and do some stuff, right? I mean, I wonder if my viewers would increase if I started speaking less. I guess that's really what I'm asking. You know, I mean, would that happen? I don't know if it would happen or not. I don't know if that would even make a difference. It might make a total difference. So, so yeah. So a couple options are I continue going as I've been going and just be content that I don't have that many viewers, right? I could stop talking and I could just work on my game and see if it drops viewers or if I gain viewers or whatever. I don't know if I gain viewers, but I could maybe because maybe I'd be finally making some progress. Or do I just quit streaming altogether and say, you know what, just wait for the update. Wait for my new devlog. I don't know. I know it's kind of annoying that it's taking me so long, and I'm not making the progress I need to make. Anyways, it's enough ranting for now, I guess. I mean, we'll see. I could just stop streaming and just start making proper devlogs if I can figure out how to do it. Okay, anyways, here. I'm going to do this. I'm not actually crunching on some croutons. I was at one point, but I'm not doing that anymore. In fact, I'm on carnivore now for a little while. Okay. I'm sleepy. So what I was gonna do, what we were gonna do was Zanzibar does some more shows in the villages. Max attends one of them. Where managed to steal from Max without his notice. And then down here, Max leaves the last show Zanzibar put on. While on the road, discovers his money is gone. Max catches up to Zanzibar in another village and then confronts him after a show and makes a deal with him. Max helps Zanzibar with large productions in exchange for doing some collection work. Okay. Is that congruent with the chat? He does the show and steals from Max. Could have him do that. Max find out as part of the first beat. Oh, so yeah. So Max finds out in that beat. And then the second beat is his response, i.e., tracking him down. Okay. That kind of makes sense. Uh, okay. I'm still thinking. So either that or I'm falling asleep. You decide. Okay. So yeah, getting things ready. I'm not actually getting things ready. Um, doing some thinking. Okay, we're scared. Okay, there we go. Alright. Doing something, and there we go. Do it like that. Because isn't a set time here. Okay. So he finds out. What did it say? Rewrite it. Whoop. Rewrite. Okay. Yeah, Max realizes it before the beat ends. Um, because this is supposed to be what happens in between it, right? So this is just going to be essentially a straight up like plot beat, right? Event, right? He does notice, and that's the thing here at the end, and so that's where I've got it. Okay. So Max has to track him down. As Max is, we'll say he's flying home in a train, in a flying train. Flying home, he notices his purse had been cut. We'll say coin purse. It's not a girl. He doesn't wear a purse. He doesn't wear a purse. He's got a coin purse though. As Max is flying home, he knows his coin purse had been cut. Okay. Um. Max catches up to Zanzibar and confronts him. Now, oh, I can't control S there. Now, control S, save room data. It'll hopefully be fine. And, okay. I'm not actually crunching on croutons, by the way, like I said. I'm trying not to fall asleep is what I'm trying not to do. So, you don't hear from me for a few minutes, it's because I fell asleep at my chair. Okay, so we actually there's one thing I'm not sure about, and that is where the line the beat or the line should go, because he confronts him. If he confronts him here, right, then all they're doing is talking, and uh then he makes a deal with them, and there's no choices, there's no nothing. I can do choices about what can happen basically, and then I could do that to make you feel like you have agency, but there's no there's nothing extra going here. It's just a linear piece of like like text, right? Okay, so they have to do. Okay, so I have to have some interesting stuff going on in between there. I guess he makes a deal with him in the last beat, right? Because that's when he lets him go. So here's gonna get to it. Let's see. Um, I cannot think right now. 10:20. Um, I suppose I could ask the AI some ideas. Hmm. Okay. Huh. Oh, okay. My brain isn't working today, that's all. I'm not stopping though, but alright, maybe I should just go ahead and ask the AI like I've been doing. I kinda don't like doing that, but it's let me look at the notes here. Here, I'll just put me back on desktop right now. Like so. If worst comes to worst, I could just put the veil over, and then you don't have to see me. That way, it's completely black. It's because it's taking an image of the little. It's a cleaning cloth that's black that I put over the top, so that if it ever came on. Okay, so let's pull up the notes here. No, not that's the wrong one. I gotta remember the blue one is the one is Office Writer, LibreOffice Writer, Libre, the LibreOffice. Uh, Conversation summary. A quickly branch short beat to use a streamlined process. Define the transaction goal. John was in the school, reached the headmistress, and uncovered two key facts. Princess never arrived, and her intended destination was a hotel. Break into mini beats. Embed player choice. At each mini beat, offer 2 to 3 meaningful options. Okay, and then it just says how to utilize stuff. Use templates for scenes, batch write. Okay, so Zanzibar has just stolen. So your setup is Zanzibar manages to steal from Max, and then Max finds. He's supposed he's in this flying train, so I guess yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I can have him. I can have a whole set of story beats where he tracks him down, and I don't know if that would entail some detective work. Obviously, Max would know the layout of the land better than Zanzibar would. He knows where the villages are, and so he can go to a few different villages. And if I'm gonna have those in there, if I'm gonna have various villages in there to try to find Zanzibar, I also need a reason for them to be there other than that. And okay, let's go to ChatGPT and let's do the thing here. I can pull this back off again. Oh, I suppose my voice might sound muffled too when I put that on. I mean, I think the speakers are to the side, but I'm not sure. Oh, two people now. Why? Probably. In fact, you may not have even been able to hear me. Uh, it all checks out. Be right back. Reboot. Reboot. Okay. Well, anyways, that's okay. If anyways, today's just a catch-up day anyway. So, um, okay. Suggestions. New day. Monday. Dang it, I need edit time and date settings. How come it's not displaying the date? It's supposed to display the date, but it doesn't do that unless I just hover over. What if I don't know. I don't know why, but this is not showing the date. Okay. Um, easy skeezy Ruby date and time format setting. Um, I had it where the clock was underneath it somehow. New line, huh? No, that's not it. Reference. So okay, so what's a full weekday name? Okay. D day of the month. 20th. What about the year? Percent Y. Oh, I have to let's see configure. Okay, there we go. That's why. This is gonna be percent N. So this is gonna be where is E day of the month? That's fine. Day of the week. Okay. Here, weeks, hours. Okay. Percent Y. In fact, this should be October 20th. That. Okay. Actually, you know what? Monday, October 20th. Century. US date. Nah, I like it like this. I like it full like that. Okay, and then P percent P. That's weird. Lowercase does the uppercase, uppercase does the lowercase. And let's go ahead and do or seconds percent S. Percent S. Okay, that'll work. I think that's what I have. I think that's the deal. Good, good, good. So now I can see it. Sorry that it took that long just to do that, which is ridiculous, but okay, whatever. New day, Monday, October, and also this should have a configure. Should be a comma after that. Monday, October 20th. I would like 20th instead of 20, but the suffix. But that's okay. If it doesn't do it, it doesn't do it. Right. Build your own presets. Huh. Okay, just I guess I'll leave it. It just looks weird, so pardon me about that. Um, okay, so Monday, October 20th, 2025. Approximately 12:05 p.m. And we'll go in and we will yeah. So how do I come up with interesting choices between time Max finds out and the time he confronts Zanzibar? Uh, Max and the player piece together where Zanzibar went, ask the locals, look for clues, follow the crow. Each choice should give a different flavored text. Violet is supposedly. That's the other thing. Should Violet be doing something, or should she be with Max? Or should Max maybe have somebody that goes with him, like a secretary or something? You know? I wonder if Red had already come into the picture. 'Cause maybe she could be there. Because it's almost like he needs a secretary or something. But provides a lead toward the next village is a come. Red herring should converge. Max handles frustrations, icy mastermind, a hot-headed tyrant. Swear vengeance to storm the road. Down the road, calmly analyze how thief pulled it off. Laugh bitterly, the magician might be useful. Each choice could slightly alter tone or narration. Foreshadowing why he'll partner with Zanzibar instead of destroying him outright. Moral flex choices. Maybe he encounters bystanders or obstacles. Poor farmer claims Zanzibar gave him a gold coin. Demand it back. The guard offers to help pay him, threaten him. Merchant offers info for a fee. Exploration, atmospheric choices. Let him travel. Quirky little villages, humor, flavor text. East Magical Trick Festival. Yeah, strategic choices. Okay, so it's giving me some ideas. Like I should be able to have my own ideas, basically. Um, okay. Temperament, moral flex, exploration, strategic. Now, I just needed some ideas to get the old juices flowing. Quick kick to the creative cortex to get the villainy flowing again. It's Steve's scheme where stomp through all his villages the mix Minister style. Yeah, I want to not to sway too much away from just doing the facts, the events. In fact, they should be like serious events, not comical ones, in the sense that I'm trying not to do the narrative part here. I'm trying to just do matter of fact what happens. Okay, so one thing is, it could be leaving his flying train. It's probably his personal flying train, we'll say, because it's presuming that presumably he owns Enchanted Lands now, and he runs it, and so he will probably have his own private Enchanted train. I didn't think about it too, as just as an extra aside, which I might should put in my notes. But they are trains. They're not just like flying vehicles of some sort, flying, I don't know, stagecoaches or something. So they would at some point be riding along track. So that means that when they land on the castle terrace grounds, there's going to be a track the uh, leading up to the depot, and then there's going to be tracks along the ground. There's going to be a railroad essentially through Enchanted Lands, and that flying trains will be able to utilize. So they'll be able to land, take off, probably designated locations. I guess I'm not sure. So that if there's a kind of a shorter distance, maybe it doesn't require like traversing the whole thing, then then they can land and they can use the railroads, use the railroad tracks. So that makes kind of sense, right? Um, I can't have too many choices. Like I said, down up to three, depending on how I do it, and they don't always have to be follow all three. In other words, they don't have to all combine to make whatever the result is. They can just be picked like a little bit one by one kind of thing. Okay, so I know I only got 20 minutes here, and I probably won't get that much done. But okay, so one thing that I know is if he's got his own personal flying train, that means he could probably follow Corvus. And Corvus is probably flying above Zanzibar somewhere. So that's one of the things he could do. In fact, that'd actually be really quick, maybe too quick. They should be able to spot him from the air and be able to land to catch up to him. Okay, maybe I should say that. I'll go ahead and say that in here too. Um, actually, let's go ahead and. Oh, I keep forgetting. Let's just close. No, I can't close that. I won't close that. Let's just open this. The flying trains are still trains, and there is train tracks traversing the lands. Also, at the castle, there are a set of tracks and the terraces that allow the trains to land and take off. Okay, that's just, here, let's go ahead and put a line in here. How does Max find Zanzibar after he realizes his money has been taken? One method is to track down Corvus, Zanzibar's pro partner in crime. Partner in crime, pro, Petro. Slash Petro. On the air, being that Max has his own flying train. Okay, that's one thing. If Max is in his own flying train, he could track Corvus from the air. Yeah, I could do something like that. Bridges the time. Also, what you suggested, if he goes on the ground, you'll have to stop at a few villages, pick up clues. So, however, I think most people wouldn't even take that option if it were there. Player psychology standpoint, if you give them a choice between pursuit course by air and your flying train versus going foot through a bunch of random villages collecting clues, why would I hoof it when I got my own villain train? Unless they really love walking simulators or geese. Here's how you can turn that into your advantage without wasting effort on a path no one takes. Make the ground path a fallback. Max somehow loses sight of Corvus from the air. Um, Villages in the air. Make the villages landmarks along the chase. Optional landings, favorite moments. Even if most won't pick it, keep the ground route as a mirage of agency. Sometimes it really shows a path that's immersion just by existing. Merge them with twist. And Mac chooses the ground route, make it worth it by rewarding curiosity, like discovering something that has a bright mean for him to see. That's a thought. Great gateway illusion. Well, he's working on a gate, which is a real gate, though. Huh. I know the one thing, though. Depending on the path you choose, at least they don't have to. At least you don't have to do both deals. In other words, he could do a full thing on the train that gets to the same destination, but he also do a full thing walking around. So walk to different places and um, so that you're not doing the other at all. So you're not doing both, and that way I could actually literally have like a full set of separate set of. I never even thought about doing that. Like I mean, I did kind of, but it's like, okay, so you have two choices of doing something. I could make them different and varied, and so you have two choices, but now you have a bunch of choices, a bunch of different methods or patterns in each deal because you don't have to do both of them. You just have to do one or the other. But if I do a ground route, then you have to make the ground route feel like it's just as important as the air route. Because when you're thinking, you're okay. So you're thinking about how you would do it if it were real life and if it were you in the place, right? If it were me in the place, I would definitely be using my flying train to go checking out for stuff. But that doesn't mean you can actually go down and look. You know, you can only see stuff from the air. So really, that's only if you're tracking Corvus. If you're tracking Corvus, you can do that. Now, the thing with tracking Corvus is Corvus is probably tends to fly lower than the flying train would. Um, so I still would need an incentive for going by ground. Uh, for going by ground, especially if it takes more work. Um, what did I just say? What was the thing that I just said? Also, what? Also, so I would still need it for going by ground, so if it takes more work. Um, also, tracking the crow. Well, that's not true, huh? Crows can fly real high, huh? So that would not fly, would it? So you need some kind of payoff or compelling reason for choosing the slower, more involved going round route. Let's brainstorm. Hidden lore backstory. Uh, that would be good, but that would be more for just lore that doesn't do anything. Basically, it's going to be more for the narrative pass, and so that's not something I do here. Maybe unique items or allies. Maybe the terrain is fast but destructive. It scares wildlife, damages fragile terrain. Show mercy, responsibility. Only uncover or travel the ground path could change how the conversation plays out. Yeah, that's because things are gonna always go back to the same point. I don't know. I don't have a way of keeping stuff. So if there's an item that you pick up, you're gonna have to pick it up for all paths in this phase. So see, Max is a villain. He doesn't need fish for compassion. That would confirm the ground versus your choice times at Maltese, but as a power play attack the mirror, you can give instead. Hmm. Let's see, the slower pace gives them the fall. Shaking. More until Max gathers on the ground, the more prepared he'll be for a gut. Memory. No, thanks. I'm trying to make sure that the AI is not really doing everything for me. It's giving me some ideas that I can bounce off of. That's really the power of the AI really. Okay. Uh I'll think about these things. My time's up for today. We'll return tomorrow. Thanks, I guess. I don't know. All right. Well, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and count this day ending of part one. I know I didn't get a lot done because I did a lot of talking. That's because I'm just catching up, and I'm just kind of, which is interesting. I hit the free plan for limit for GPT-5, which is interesting. I'll still probably use it though for some of my click dragging stuff, but that's okay. That's a different note. So part two. So I want to thank you for watching part one, and I will see you in part two in an hour. Thank you for watching part one.